G'day, it's Mark and welcome back to the channel, and this is a short update, part 14 on the restoration of my Ford P5 LTD. So I've removed all the carpet and now I'm just vacuuming out all the dirt and everything. It's got the original insulation on the floor. Under the floor is nice and clean, it's rust free, there's no issues there. And so I'm just vacuuming out all the dirt and bits and pieces. Before putting the new sound deadening in, or the underlay or underfelt, and then the brand new carpet that I got from Knox Carpet, if you look at the previous episode. So, getting stuck into it. Coming along really well. Looking good. I'll just do the other side now, which is pretty filthy. We've obviously got the driver's side as well, so that's going to be dirtier than probably the passenger side, based on the traffic. Certainly a labour of love. When I'm driving this car, I hope I remember all the work and effort that's gone into it, not just from me, but Brian and everyone else. It's Stu on the glass and Jason with the interior. All the work that everyone's done to make this car, I don't know about perfect, but to make it a really nice car, and certainly my favourite Australian car, which I know I keep saying, but it is, and my favourite colour too. So, yeah, it's well worth it. I know this car had a lot of, you know, dents and filler and this, that, and the next thing, but the great thing was the cowl, the floors and everything were really, really good. So that was surprising, actually, how good they were. And sometimes it's funny when you get a car that has rust in certain areas. I know Peter Anderson found this in his, I think his XA Falcons that he's doing up, the wagon, the sedan, that some parts of it, you know, are badly corroded, and then you find other parts that are like perfect, and you wonder how the cars sort of ended up that way. Parts that are normally prone to rust aren't rusted, and other parts are badly rusted, and you think, well, how did that happen? But I guess a lot of things, how it's stored, even the angle it was stored at, if it held water, there's lots of factors. But anyway, let's keep going with this job. It's not too bad, actually. I should mention Phil too has also given me a good hand with this car, pulling out the T-bar and so on, the console and the carpet. But anyway, I've vacuumed it all out now. It's looking really good. As you can see, the floors are just bloody perfect. And next step is start putting the insulation in. Actually, the next step is to take the seat belts out. I think Phil's got another seat belt replacement for me for this side. Take the other ones out, give them a good wash and clean, dry them out thoroughly, and all the buckles and so on, and then maybe start gluing down some of this sort of stuff. I might speak to Jason about should I keep this in place and put the overlay on top of it, or take it out and use the new stuff. I'll double check. I don't want any fitment issues, so I'll ask him. He's the expert. But yeah, it's all coming together, and slowly but surely, it's really, really cool. As I said, you know, it's quite satisfying having a car that I've always loved since I was a kid, and I always thought they looked terrific. And just having one, looking at the brochures, thinking, oh wow, how good would it be to have one of these? It's nice to finally have one, and like I said, in the colour that I wanted and everything else. And yeah, it's really cool. So I'm looking forward to it being finished and taking it for a drive and showing you a video of that as well. Yes, I've just moved on to the engine bay. Not that I'm doing a lot with that, but I've removed the battery tray and using the trusty Ryobi vac, although my battery's an old one, so it doesn't last that long. Only lasts about 10 minutes, if that. I've got to get a new battery, just should be lasting about 20, 25 minutes. Although the little filter and everything gets filled up pretty quickly, because still trying to get rid of, well, I'll show you. Still trying to get rid of I've taken the battery tray out here, as you can see, and I've got to clean all this up here. This is all the original paint, it's not redone. But I think it'll clean up okay, and I'll just touch it up here and there. I'll redo the engine, like, you know, clean that up and paint the rocker covers, things like that, clean up these brackets, and yeah, it'll look respectable. Just very quickly started cleaning up this, but you can see it's still filthy. But there's still a lot of the sandblasting powder down here. It's very, very fine, and good thing is all the subframe and everything looks really good. It's not rusted or anything like that, so happy about that. But that'll just take a while. I think Brian said it takes years literally for all that to disappear, so you know, it is what it is. But the good thing is, you know, I thought when I removed the battery tray, it might have been really badly rusted under here, but it's not, which is terrific. So there's the battery tray. I can actually buy a brand new one, but I'm going to just clean this one up and paint it. And I sometimes like to put like a little rubber mat on the tray just to sort of stop any acid getting on the tray and rusting it out. You've got to be careful though with moisture not sitting between the mat and the metal tray, because it can also sweat and cause rust. But this is actually looking pretty clean and tidy. So I'm just going to get the old, not that, probably a different end, and yeah, just get this, scrape back or sanded back to sort of a decent condition, and then repaint it, and yeah, I think that'll be fine. So we've just a couple of strokes with a wire brush. It's all the scales coming off, and it's not rusted, so it's coming out really well. So yeah, this will be definitely well worth saving. Still needs a good thorough clean, but I've given it a degrease, the engine, so it's certainly looking a lot better in the engine bay now, but it still needs a fair bit more work. But yeah, it looks better than certainly what it did before. So we'll keep going as part of the rejuvenation. Also had some Apollo blue paint mixed up, which is good. Had the original code and everything, so that'll be for the battery tray and just any sort of touch-ups that, more in the engine bay, nothing sort of overtly on the outside of the car, just to tidy it up a little bit. So just in amongst cleaning up the engine bay, this side light here, it's got a couple of fractures on it. And also this is quite faded. So I actually saw on eBay a better condition one, and I'm just going to take the lens out. I will clean this up properly and black it out in here. I'll do that sort of later on. This is sort of in better condition, but I'm just going to use the lens initially just to clean it up. So I'm just going to do that now. So I've taken it out. You've got to undo the back first and then pull it out and then away. So I notice there's like a little arrow. Where is it? See if it'll focus. Maybe it won't. Okay, let's see. There you go. There's an arrow there, see, facing forwards. I guess it just tells you that's the front, but anyway, I'm just going to give this a bit of a clean up. So I've cleaned that up. It's got Australia on it. It's when we used to make stuff here. I'll clean up the housing a bit, and still could do with a bit more, but I'll finish it off properly probably later, but it's certainly an improvement over the old one. I can actually recolor this. You can buy Tamiya clear lens paint, and you can actually redo that, so I'll certainly keep that, even though it's a bit fractured. Just putting that in there, which I think was a big improvement. Looks much, much better. I'll just screw it back in. Yeah, it looks a lot better than it did before. The other side's probably faded, I guess. I haven't really looked at that, but I'll aim to get some good ones on each side of the car. Again, this needs to be cleaned up properly, and then this blackout needs to be put back in, but just at the moment, I've got enough on my plate, so it's a bit an easy improvement just with a couple of screws. Now I'm going to put the old lens back in this one, just so I've got a spare. So that's the old one, that's the new one, so it's a big improvement. So let's just go with the spare parts. Still after what am I after? Just FYI. I'm after the strip that goes across the bottom here in really good nick with no rust. I'm after one of those. I'm after an original radio, either with cassette or not, but an original radio for the P5 LTD. I'm also after an original stereo cassette for the P6 LTD, the Silver Monarch. Has got its radio, but not the cassette part. Doesn't have to be working, just in good nick visually. If it works, great, but it doesn't have to work. What else am I after? I think they're the main things. So if anyone's got that stuff, reach out through the comments on the channel. So I put the battery tray and some other of my dad's old rusty tools in a plastic container full of white vinegar, and that's a great way of removing rust, and then just give it a wash with some clean water once it's soaked for a day or two, and then I'll do some high fill on this and then repaint it with the paint I got the other day. So just giving a bit of a primer to the LTD battery tray. and I'll give that some high fill and give it a coat of paint later on. So I've also been doing a little bit of work around the engine bay, just, I wouldn't say detailing it, but just, cleaning it up. It still needs a fair bit of work. Jake and his dad will take out or take off the gas and then put it back to fuel, petrol only. And so at that point, I'll get them to take the rocker covers off. A lot of this tubing will be, the lines for the gas will be removed, and therefore it'll give me better access. I've just started to clean this up a little bit. It's still not where it needs to be, but I've degreased quite a bit of it and removed a lot of built up grime. I've got the battery tray out. I still need to finish that off, paint that up and put that back in, but I won't do that until the rest of the engine bay is clean and tidy, just so it all matches. I've just also tidied up the radiator support, sort of painted that black, and also the air conditioning bracket for the compressor, but also the pulleys as well. Just had some light surface rust on it. Probably need to put a new coil in it because that looks still pretty average. And I've also cleaned up down here. This is all pretty grimy. So look, it still needs a fair bit of work under the engine bay, but we'll get there. And it's all part of the project, bringing these cars back. And as you know, I've got a lot of other projects on the go. So if you haven't been following along on those, there's the Ford XL GT convertible with the 429 V8. Check that out, that series of episodes. Ray's doing a great job on that car. And then Brian's also done a fantastic job fixing up the 57 Ford F250 from a cosmetic point of view. Ray did a lot of work on the mechanicals of that truck, the Ford V8, Y-block V8. I think it's a 272 V8. So check those episodes out as well. Well, I hope you enjoyed that short update on the Ford P5 LTD. Still a lot to do, lots of bits and pieces, and when you get the main parts of the car done, the body and the paint and so on, it's amazing how much time is taken with just the little bits and pieces, and I guess anyone that's done a restoration would attest to that as well. So thanks very much for watching. Please give the episode a thumbs up and also hit that subscribe button for future episodes. Plus, check out the playlist if you haven't followed along from the beginning. Thanks very much for watching. See you next time. Bye.